Every 2 years, India's only listed credit card company, valued at $9 billion, SBI Cards, appoints a new CEO. This time around, it is going to be Salila Pande, a career banker who's been with SBI for over 30 years now. On the 1st of April, she's going to be taking over the reins from her predecessor, Abhijit Chakravorty.
It's going to be a tough 2 years for her because almost all her predecessors have made life tough for her, to be honest.
That was my brilliant colleague, the Ken reporter Ronak Kumar Gunjan. The problem, he explained to me, is like an open secret among SBI Cards employees. Actually, you can't even call it a secret anymore. The thing is, they just don't get along with their CEOs in general. Take the outgoing CEO, Chakravarti, for example.
There is this anecdote also that a couple of employees told me was that, he refers to SBI Cards as the United States of SBI Cards running a fiefdom, sort of mocking them about the amount of money that they make.
Now, here is where things get really interesting. You see, SBI Cards employees often make more money than their CEO. For example, according to the company's exchange filing, until December 2024, Chakravarti made 87 lakh rupees a year. But every SBI Cards executive that Ronak spoke to makes over 1 crore rupees annually, plus stock options worth 1 to 5 crore rupees. As you can imagine, this does not sit too well with these bosses. But it's not just about hurt egos. The problem goes deeper. It is more structural. And it is affecting SBI Card's performance, not just on the bourses, its net income and market share have also been sliding. So, in today's episode, we will take a closer look at what is happening inside one of India's biggest credit card companies. Welcome to Daybreak, a business podcast from the Ken. I'm your host Nigdha Sharma, and I don't chase the news cycle. Instead, every day of the week, my colleague Rahil Philippos and I will come to you with one business story that is worth understanding and worth your time. Today is Tuesday, the 25th of March. So, Ronak, a really great story. Why don't we start off straight with a little bit of company history background, about SBI Cards?
Sure. So it's a it's a very unique company in itself because it's as you said, it's the only listed pure play credit card company in India, and it's been there for a while. It was first established in '99. It got listed in 2020, and ever since it's been a middling performance in terms of the stock market performance of the company, but it's been a very I mean, it's been a major player in the credit card space in India. For the longest time, it was in terms of credit cards in force, in terms of spends, etc. It was the number two player, only second to HDFC Bank. But it has slipped to the third spot in the last 12 months in terms of both credit cards in force and the expenditure on credit cards that people are doing. So while it's a very significant company, its performance has been tanking of late.
The credit card major also slipped from second to third place behind HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank in its market share for both value and volume of credit card transactions. Also, while credit card spending between January last year and January this year grew by 10% on an industry level, for SBI cards, it fell by over 5%. So, if there haven't been any major operational changes since its inception, what happened now?
So SBI Card was set up as a joint venture between SBI and GE Capital, where GE Capital held a significant minority share in the company, and the CEO still came from SBI, but the employees said that it was as if there are two chief executives in the company, and most of the decisions were actually a joint agreement between those two chiefs. GE Capital actually took care of the operations, etc., the HR functions, and all of those things. So the employee said that as GE Capital exit, I mean, GE sold its shares to Carlyle and SBI. Uh, so after the exit of GE, things have become slightly difficult inside SBI Card because earlier it was more of a collaborative process where the two downs and three downs were also included in the decision making of the entire company. But now it's become slightly top down.
Right. So the way GE was, handling employees, that was different, right?
GE also made sure that the employees were taken care of through HR initiatives, etc. But those things have stopped. For instance, another anecdote this employee came up with was that there was no punch in punch out time, and people only had to come, finish their work, and leave. And that's how maturely the workplace behaved. But off late, they've started this punch in time where if you're late 15 minutes on 3 days, you will be missing your a day's salary, etc. So all of those things actually talk about how the authority. So this employee was again very direct in saying that it almost feels as if the senior leadership believes that people inside the company don't want to work, and we will make them work. So, which is why such examples come up, such measures come up.
Right. Now, the other thing, Ronak, that I was really curious about is, CEO tenures at SBI cards. So, from what I understood in your story, it is SBI Bank's board of directors who are appointing a new CEO for SBI cards every 2 years, right? So, what exactly is the issue here? I mean, apart from the obvious fact that change in company leadership every 2 years could be confusing for other employees.
The couple of reasons. One, because SBI chiefs don't have the kind of experience in credit cards, so it takes them a while to get used to it, and by the time they get used to it, it's time for them to leave. That's one reason. The second reason is, of course, there is a disparity in terms of the money that SBI chiefs earn and the money that SBI card employees earn. So a pretty big disparity there.
Right. That makes sense. Right. So it does seem a bit high-handed, right, on part of the board. Can you tell us a little bit about the SBI board, actually, Ronak?
So the board mostly comprises of directors from SBI itself. SBI chairman is a part of it. SBI other senior SBI folks are part of it, and then there are independent directors as well. But the thing is, these independent directors are also, in some way or the other, have been associated with SBI in some way. So there is a lot of SBI influence in the board. So in on the board of SBI card also there are a couple of SBI executives. So any large decision obviously needs a board approval as well. So it's very difficult for anything to be green lighted without the SBI agreeing to it, the bank, because it has two of its senior execs on the board of SBI card as well. So there is no way that something can be executed or rolled out without SBI agreeing to that prospect.
Right. Also, what happens to innovation, when a company CEO is changing every 2 years? Does it take a hit in some way? Plus, like you mentioned, the CEOs are not experienced specifically in running a pure credit card business, right?
These bankers have a lot of experience. It's not as if they absolutely are clueless about credit cards. They're well informed people. But the problem is that they do not know the intricacies of the business. That's the only problem. Otherwise, the ideas, I mean, off late in the last 2 3 years or last 5 years, what the employee said that it's more or less become a top down approach where the ideas stem from the CEO and his one downs, and then it's implemented throughout the workplace.
So basically, all these SBI card employees, they also feel this discontent because they think they're being left out of decision making, especially when it comes to new products and innovation.
The thing is that the employees say that there are a lot of plans that come in from the CEO that do not seem viable, do not seem practical. Some of it are done only because on the whims of the chief executive, for instance. So there is a lot of clash that happens, but ultimately, the employee said that it comes with almost a compulsion that it has to be done, and there is no other way that the chief would have it. So they do it, but which is why there is so much discontent, so much attrition at the senior level, and so many people leaving.
So, like Ronak says, when the new CEO Salila Pande steps into the company's Gurgaon office on the 1st of April, she is going to have to do a lot, or rather, undo a lot in very little time. And if she's not careful, her 2 year term will fly by with very little to show for it, and before she knows it, the next chief will be walking in, and the cycle will continue. By the way, what did you think of this episode? Do you prefer this format over my usual monologue style episodes? I would really love to know. So please write to me at snigdha@theken.com, or you can also send me a WhatsApp text with your feedback at our WhatsApp number 89711 08379. Also, please do not forget to share, like, subscribe, and follow wherever you can. It makes a huge difference for us here on the other side. Thank you for listening and catch you tomorrow.
Daybreak is produced from the newsroom of The Ken, India's first subscriber focused business news platform. What you're listening to is just a small sample of our subscriber only offerings. A full subscription unlocks daily long form feature stories, newsletters, and podcast extras. To subscribe, head to theken.com and click on the red subscribe button on top of the Ken website. Today's episode was hosted by Snigdha Sharma and edited by Rajiv CN.